Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's Wicked here, and it is Fun Draw Friday. So, we haven't done Dragon Ball in a while, so I thought I'd take a stab at drawing Ultra Instinct Goku. Okay, so from Dragon Ball Super, we're going to draw him in a dynamic pose. So, since I've drawn a lot of Dragon Ball stuff in my life, I'm not really going to use too much construction line work and just kind of get those shapes that I know to be true. But we're going to start with the head here. Okay, so we're gonna start drawing in a hair, and I'm keeping things nice and light just so that I can, correct any mistakes that I might make. So I'm just kind of drawing in the basic shapes for his hair. Let's bring another piece out right here. And just kind of come out the top. And I just wanted to do that so I can start working on the eyes and things. So I'm going to go ahead and start with his mouth. So I'm going to have him kind of screaming and then doing a Kamehameha attack while he's doing it. And again, I'm going to stay light just in case I need to make any adjustments to it. Draw his mouth open. Like that. And let's kind of get an underline here, and then I can now adjust the chin. Let's pull that over and start to come out that way. Okay, then we're going to get his nose. And I'm kind of just keeping things simple. For now, we'll add any detail we may need to do later. Let's bring that one eyebrow back right here. Take that back. Let's make this a little smaller. So I can extend this out just a little bit. put that little crease in the eye. Take that down. Bring that eyebrow back. Okay, so now I'm going to take and make him an eye right there. And we'll just go ahead and put the iris in right here. And we'll put a reflection in there. Okay, I'm gonna fix this. Let's adjust the hair some. Let's get the other eye right here. And I can fix the hair like that. Right, and get another iris right here. Okay, and let's see, let's kind of bring the face in just a little bit on that side. And let's see, let's bring it out a little bit of the face that way. Okay, so I got my hair here. Let's get another piece of hair. Going back this way. Bring that back. Let's kind of take that hair down a little bit right there. Let's kind of sharpen it off. Like that. And then we're going to put those little eye lines underneath. Okay. And then I want a little bit of the ear right there. And we'll do a little bit of the ear right in there. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is start building out the rest of the hair. So I'm going to come from this point here. And again, I like to kind of keep things even, so what I'll do is kind of go back and forth between spots. Just so that I can make sure I don't go too crazy with it being like way out wild. Let's take a more central piece of hair here. Like that. And I'll kind of come back this way. And we'll kind of round out back of the head here. Like that. And we'll get another piece right in here. And yeah, if you haven't noticed, this is kind of going to be a mix in like my style of doing it. So it's not going to be 100% like Toriyama design. It's more my take on it myself. Okay, so we have the hair all set up. And again, we'll worry about details and stuff later. Next aspect I want to get is like here under the chin and the neck area. So like we're going to kind of come out from the hair here and get the clothes. And where that kind of overlaps, we're going to take that back to the neck. And maybe have a little line come out right there. Okay, and then I want a small aspect of the shirt kind of right here, because we're going to make this body twisting a lot while he's shooting this Kamehameha. And kind of bring that out to the shoulders. And before I continue that, I want to come out back behind the hair here. And we're going to kind of round the shoulders. And I'm going to bring his back out. And so this would be like one of those moments where his clothes are a little bit torn up. So let's kind of really turn his shoulders that way. And then bring out our piece in there. Okay. So here's where we're going to come in. We might make some adjustments, but we're going to start with our shoulder. Now Goku usually tends to have pretty defined muscle work on his body. We kind of take that back that way. And really round back at the shoulders here. So I can tell just by looking at it that I am overextending. So I'm just going to use a big eraser. I'm going to cut back some. That's okay. That's what happens when you draw. Sometimes you make mistakes. Let's bring his shoulders in more to the chin here. let's kind of bring that out. And we'll do a small bit of extra muscle right there. Okay, so now we can adjust a tattered shirt a little bit. And then we want it to kind of come out from the side over here. And then what we can do here is kind of extend that over. So we kind of want the shoulder to look like it's a little bit closer to us. Okay, so now I can come off the shoulder here. And we'll focus on that bicep muscle. Now again, we're doing some foreshortening because we're pulling away. Okay, so same thing down here. And kind of work on that tricep. Have that kind of go down into the bicep a little bit. And so what we'll do is from like right here, we'll bring that forearm down to the elbow that way. And have that round off right there. And get a tiny little sliver to come down and be the elbow right here. So let's bring that back just a little bit, and then we'll take this down as the forearm there. And we'll start working in, I mean, that's the tricep there. We'll start working into the forearm now. So I'm going to extend that bicep just a little bit. And let's kind of round that a little bit bigger. And we'll do the same that way. So about right here, we're going to draw in his weighted wristbands. So let's kind of bring those out. Probably cut that down just a little bit. And we'll take that out. kind of tear up that end right there a little bit. Have that fold across and wrap around. Alright, and then from here we'll see a little bit of his torn up pants. So we'll kind of bring that inside there. And I usually like saving like the hands and stuff for last. So let's bring this back now. Okay, and I'm just going to continue to work down the body. So we're going to start thinking about different areas that we're going to see. So we probably see, since the body's twisted so much, we're going to see, again, some more of the torn up clothes. More like around his waist area. Okay, and then I can come down in here and start working with the legs. Now let's start. I'm gonna start like right here. I'm gonna start with the waist. Again, his uniform is gonna be like kind of torn up. So I'm gonna kind of work that in that way. Just getting a little bit of some shape difference. Okay, and then like right here, we can start working in, you know, the knee. So I'm just more thinking about the pants and how they're gonna turn. So I have like these little rivets here, or creases in the pants. So this will be kind of like my knee impression right here. And again, I'm just going to put some more creases in here. Because I want this to be kind of like his knee is flying forward. So let's start working on some of this. And we can kind of crease this out that way. Turn that down into the leg. And we can get like another fold right here. And have that run down into the leg right there. Okay, so now we have to think too. So if this is like kind of where the leg would be, how much, let's kind of tear that and put like a little tear down there, but how much am I going to see of the feet? Well, since we're kind of in a view where it's going to be foreshortened, we're not really going to see too much, but we can at least get the impression of his foot down there. So I can just kind of run that line down there, and then we could put a small bit of that tassel that's usually at the top of his shoe or his boot. So we can kind of run that there like that. Okay, and then we can start, you know, he has those little, the characters have these little lines that come off like the edge of their pants, so we're going to see like parts of that. And then I can start drawing in some more of the hip here. Some tears in the clothes. Usually his clothes are pretty torn up around his knees after he's done fighting. Let's build in another fold right here. And again, we're extending the leg way back. So we're going to kind of bring those folds up into here. And then we can extend the leg down. So we can always make some changes as we go. And we're gonna, let's see, we got a tear here, so we need to start showing some of that leg area going back down. And have that kind of torn area going back by his foot. And again, since we're so foreshortened, again, we're not going to see too much of the foot down there. So we can do other little things that just kind of show the extension of the thigh down there. So we're going to kind of just put a line in here. Extend some of this out. Okay. And now I'm going to come in here and start working on the hands. So let's get a little forearm line here. A little line coming out of the wrist here. Okay, so now I want to work on the hand itself. So I'm going to get this kind of a thumb shape going. And we're going to kind of turn it this way. So we're going to be doing it to where he's forming that energy ball. So let's kind of have that split off this way. And we'll want to work that finger. In there like that. We'll probably see a little bit of that fingernail there. Again, we'll see part of the finger here. And just a little bit back over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down on the sides of this wrist so it doesn't look so thick on there. And kind of do the same thing here. And kind of go out that way. Okay, now for now, we're just going to kind of like lightly sketch the shape of the energy blast. Just so that I have a reference in here. Okay, so I'm going to bring the shoulders and the way they're turned. We're going to see partial of the wrist guard here. And take that down that way. And then we're going to have the other side of our palm right here. So we're going to start seeing our thumb. Before we do the thumb, let's kind of do the rest of the fingers, just so I can get a better sense of how it needs to look. So I can take that back. And then raise the thumb a little bit here. Maybe see a little bit of that pinky back in there. So now let's think about how we want that energy kind of, flaring out. So we'll have like a skinny line, a thicker line. Again, we'll do like kind of a thin line. And we'll have that thicker line kind of coming out of the fingers here. Okay, and then I don't want it to be solid, so it looks like it's coming off of it right here. Okay, so again, we're going to kind of have a thicker energy beam coming out from behind the thumb. A skinnier one. Go back behind the hair. And then again, we'll have a thicker line. Come out right there. Okay, so now it kind of looks like he's holding Kamehameha blast, right? So now that that's done, and that's the top. Don't think it's. I mean, that's the top of the sketchbook right there. So don't think I kind of am not showing you what's going on. I'm gonna go and do an inking around it. and bring out some of the details. Okay, so like right here around the eyes, I'll just start there. And just fill that in. Again, I need to put something behind this because if I don't, it's going to leak right through to the next page. I don't want to waste any paper. So for now, we'll just have that there. Okay, so I can kind of come around here, get that eye reflection in there, and just fill in the eye, and then get the other side of that pupil. Essentially just go through, pretty much just retrace over what I have. Okay. Now some other things I can do is get some line work in here, just to you know, have that Dragon Ball look to it. Now I'm not going to color in his hair just because, you know, that Ultra Instinct anyway, it's got more of that silver to it. So I might just add in like just some line work. So let's draw our line out this way. Okay, and again, we can add in some extra line work to give it more of a typical look of the way the hair is drawn. So I'm going to kind of run back this way and just have a few extra lines in the hair. So now I'm going to come down and just carefully draw out the face shape. And draw that in there. Again, I'm just going to be careful so it doesn't bleed too much. Get those teeth shape right inside there. Now what I will do, maybe thicken up this outside edge right here. Just look like there's more depth in the mouth. And we'll get the nose. And those lines on the face. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to come down here into the shirt. And put that neckline there. And like I said, essentially I'm just tracing back over the things that I've already done. So certain areas, what I can start doing is I can start bringing in these shadowed areas that I want to see. And just kind of ink them in a little bit. And that'll just help him stand out just a little bit more. Okay, so different areas, like close here by the chin. I can fill it in that way. We can also get probably this area back behind the ear. Just go ahead and put that shadow in that way. Again, I'm going to leave the hair kind of light. Just so there's more of an understanding that it's him and Ultra Instinct as opposed to it being black. Okay, so I kind of have the hair outlined. I can come back. Again, we can add in some of that extra line work to just bring the hair out more. So I'm just going to look at different areas and just see where those lines will benefit. So let's kind of bring it up that way over here. Bring that back. And I don't want to oversaturate it either. Just because it'll take up most of the hair and then look kind of weird when we're done. So I'm just picking different spots. And just highlighting those areas. Again, just keep in mind this is more in my style of art, so it's not going to be like one for one, you know, exactly looking like him. It's going to have that little bit of a twist on there. Again, since his hair is glowing that silver color, we're not going to have too much in a way of like shading inside the hair. So let's take this down and another one here, and let's get one underneath, kind of come across the top here. Okay, so that pretty much take care of, you know, what we're going to do with the hair as far as that goes. Okay, now down in here, again, it's where I can kind of start putting in the shadow on the body. Thinking about, you know, different spots. that really should be filled in. So again, if you just had like an ink pen or something, you could just color it in with that. If you got like a black marker, you could do it in that way. We'll keep that close to the hair. Extend that out just a little bit. Come down here into this curve. I'll have a slight opening right there. And we'll kind of take that down right through here. And I'm just trying to, like I said, just pick different spots that I want to be highlighted with the shadows. So again, I kind of have to pick and choose how I do this. Let's take this up. And we're going to fill all that in down here. So it's almost like instead of doing the cell shading, I'm replacing those shadows with more of an inking look. Okay, and let's work on some of the pant shadows down here. And we'll take that back down this way. Kind of close that off right in there. Just get a tiny bit right there. Okay, so as I bring this down here, and kind of extend that down into there. And get his clothes in there. Okay, so let's do another kind of thin piece like that. And just kind of turn that under that way. Okay, so now I want to try to think about different ways to set up these shadows on this inner part of the shoulder, because I don't want to take away too much from it. because I want to leave like some openings in here. At the same time, I want to give it a decent look, right? So let's kind of extend that out that way. We'll turn that in there. Probably thicken that up just a little bit. Okay. Now some other points of interest is we'll take that up here. We'll bring that down. And we're going to kind of make let's kind of cut that off right there. So I can fill these into a point. Again, I'm trying to think about the rest of this back area. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and fill all that in. Okay, so you can see how that's kind of darkening everything out. And then if you wanted to, go in later with an alcohol marker or some colored pencils or something, and you want to attempt to color that in, you could do so because all your shadows are pretty much set up where you need them to be. And I think I'm going to leave that piece open too. Right inside there. Okay. Now I want to get some of this right down in here. Just for that shadow on the body. Just like that. And then we can come in here and we can work these muscles on the shoulder. So let's start thinking about our shadow in different areas. Now I don't tend to usually put too much on the skin. But certain areas where we have slight overlaps, and then thinking about like the reflection of light that would be coming off, is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So Probably extending down into the arm. We'll kind of thicken that up here at the top. And then kind of turn that over. I'm going to leave this very, very thin line to show that separation from the shirt. So I'm going to kind of follow that around. Just because, like I said, I want that separation to be there. So then I can take the rest of this down. And we can work that into our shoulder right here. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of fold that out this way. Again, I can just fill that in. And I can bring that line down. And we can have a slight turn right inside of here. Okay, so that takes care of the shoulder there. Some other thing, just to make it simple, because like I said, I'm not going to do a lot, but we're going to bring this kind of forearm or tricep shape down. So I can go ahead and kind of outline that. And then like right in here, we're going to kind of thicken that up. And take that down into this fold. Right in there. I'm going to keep this outside just a regular line. Just bring that down. We extend that probably just a little bit, like that there. All right, and we come down here into the elbow. If we want to kind of capture a little bit of an elbow shape, we put a shadow there. Like that. Okay, same thing here. We could probably put another shape in there to kind of get that crease in there. And then I can finish connecting that bicep. Taking that out and come in. And we can kind of build out a little shadow inside of here. Again, it's just giving us more details where we didn't have any. Okay, I can keep this line the same. We can probably triangle shade that one. Again, I can just take that out there like that. Okay, now I might come back to the hands later. I'm going to continue to move down into the pants and stuff. So let's do these two lines first. Okay. So we have this piece here. I'm going to put another line right inside there, but we're going to kind of thicken that up a little bit. Now again, I want to have separation from the arms and the pants, so I'm putting that thin line there. Okay, we're going to kind of arch that out that way. And put our shadow in. Okay, we have a little line here. We come down here. We can probably put a little bit of a crease shadow right in here. And work our way out. And then I'll fill in a little bit of shadow right here. Like that. Alright, I got this little round curve here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get that shape. And then from here, I'm going to get some shadow work all along this area that we got kind of like ridged off right here. So we'll just fill that in. Like that. Okay. Now as we get down here into that next layer of pants, we can kind of pick and choose different areas to highlight and shadow. Without going, too over the top with some of it. Okay, so kind of get that in there. Highlight that, and then we'll come around in here. We'll do the same. Right here on that edge. Okay, I'm going to trace around the rest of the pants there. And we're going to fill that in black. And we'll get those shoes. Okay, next piece. And kind of come in here. And we'll probably fill that in with some shadow. And the rest of it we can kind of work around. That way. And fill that in. Again, I could probably come down along that edge. And just fill that in like that. Now on a bigger piece, like this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to just trace those lines that we have. Okay, but what I want to do, I'm going to thicken up this line here. And just make that a shadow that tucks in. Right inside there. Okay. So now I have a little bootlace here, as well as my shoe. Okay. And we're going to kind of run that out. And I'm just going to continue around. Again, once you're done with this, you can color it however you like, because you'll have some nice inking lines here to prevent you from taking away all that detail that you just worked on. So let's kind of come in here. And we want this piece to be kind of like completely overhanging, so it's going to get way more shadow than usual. Okay, and we can keep that outside edge here. Bring that in. A little bit of an overlap so we can kind of thicken that part up. And just connect to the pants that way. So that just leaves our wrist and hands up here at the top. So what I'm going to do now is, again, we're going to think about shadow placement. So like here on the bottom, because of where the light is going to be hitting, it's going to be dark on the rounded parts that go down into the wrist. And then I can just connect that there. I could probably put a couple of extra lines right here. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to kind of come up and just where these folds are is where we're going to put our dark shadow. Right inside there. Okay, so now let's draw our hand out. Now here's where things are going to get interesting. Because again, our hand is so close to this light, it does cast a shadow on the back side of the hand. The thing you have to think about is where to put those shadows. Which part are going to be the flattest bases. Again, I'm going to keep right inside here. So like right where like the turn of the hands would be where your shadows are going to go. So same thing here. You know, kind of curving with the hand. Now I'm going to have that separation right there just so we can see the tears a little better. So I'll do the same right here. I'm going to keep a separation from those tears. And we'll just thicken that up right inside there. So you can see how that shadow's helping us out. Okay, now as far as the other hand goes, for now we can just go ahead and just trace out our hand shape. That right there is the fold in our wrist guard. Okay, and then where would the shadows go on here? Well, it's going to work essentially the same way, right? Those flattest portions of the hand that's what's going to catch those shadows. Okay, so with the fingers on this side, mostly just be thick right in there, and then light on the other side. So same thing once I get that out. I can thicken that underside right here. Just like that. Okay. Now, technically, we could darken out the face more, but I think we're just going to leave it light for now. But what I do want to do is I want to try to do some line work without completely jacking up my picture. So, trying to find me a little magazine that I can use here to help with that. Okay. So we're going to extend that out. And I'm just going to very carefully go over my line work for this. And then I'll kind of do like I did with the Cyclops and Gambit artwork I did a while ago, where we kind of completely inked everything in. But then I just colored a specific area, highlighting their powers. So I'm going to try to carefully get this, and then I'm going to color in this Kamehameha, which it won't take that long, so it's just an extra 5 minutes of coloring. like that. Alright, so now what I can do is find me a blue alcohol marker. Now we want to make sure, find a decent color. Something that's going to be appropriate but not too dark. So I'm going to go with this pale blue. Okay, so if you have Ohu markers, it's number 67. So what we'll do is we're going to leave inside white, because that's where our heavy glow is going to be. I can kind of stick with this outside edge. Didn't mean to pass in front right there. So I'm going to kind of thicken this up. Now the challenging part's going to be these really thin areas. So we'll have to see how that goes. So I'm going to go very lightly. The problem with these alcohol markers is sometimes they like to bleed and carry over. So it can be a little bit challenging. But at least I'm keeping some semblance of that white line. I'm just really trying to stick to that outside edge as much as possible. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that over here. Just going to have that run through the fingers. Like that. Again, I'm going to stick close to the edge on that thin one. Like that. And we'll just do this one last side. Like that. So you can see we kind of have that glow effect to it, which is all I wanted to accomplish with that. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is the thing that I like to do. And that's to really thicken up the outside edge to just make it pop. So while I'm doing that, again, I know I say this every time, but I really need the help. just because it's just really beneficial, not just to me, but it's beneficial to you to make sure that you get the content that you want. So if you want to see more Dragon Ball art on these Fun Draw Fridays or a Tiny Tuesday or just something, you have to leave a comment for me and let me know what you think, what you want to see more of. Hey, can you draw this person? Hey, can you teach me how to draw hands, whatever. Just I got all kinds of videos. So if you're new here, go ahead, subscribe and leave a like. But leave a comment. Let me know how it did, what you think overall. Like I said, any characters that you want to see me draw, I gladly will do it. Anybody who has left a request, I've made a video for. So like I said, I mean, the comments and stuff, obviously they're beneficial to the channel because they help the channel grow, but it's ultimately more beneficial to you, the viewer, because you're getting the art and the content that you actually want to see. So yeah, just do me a favor, leave me a comment and let me know what you want to see next. Okay, now if you can see, I'm just sticking to the outside edge with this. So if you're new to the channel, it's just something that I like to do to thicken the outside layer of the line work. And it is 100% just a personal preference of mine. It's not something that you have to do. I just like it because it makes the image pop off the page more. Maybe subtle, but it helps. Let's get this outside the hair over here and we'll be all done with that. So while I finish that up, like I said, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed. I want to thank those of you who are actually watching the videos. And don't forget, you can share your work with me on Twitter at WickedArt5. I'd love to see y'all's work. I also do live streams on Thursdays. So if you ever wanted to come down and chat with me, you can. That's usually around 12:30 Eastern time, so 12:30 p.m. So maybe if you're on your lunch break or whatever and you want to pop by and say hi, you can do that. But yeah, to everyone who's subscribed, I want to thank you. That's going to do it for our Fun Draw Friday. Again, if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw and you want to see more, hey, go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment. If you've been here before and you stayed and helped and went and drew along with the whole video, I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. It's good to have plenty of students. But other than that, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful weekend. And remember to keep on sketching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.